I woke up one morning and saw numbers hovering above everyone's heads. Above my mom, it was 9450. Above my dad, it was 8639. The numbers above our housekeeper and butler were far lower than my parents, in the hundreds, even the tens. Dazed, I drove out into Crescent Bay to test the theory. Most strangers had single-digit numbers floating above them. Seeing anything above 10 was rare. I drove home with my mind spinning, only to find my parents' numbers had changed. Both were down by 1 since the morning. A jolt ran through me. Could these be the remaining times I would see them? The thought sent a chill down my spine. Today, I also saw my sworn enemy, Reese Montgomery, but the number above his head, it was only 3. To test my suspicion, I paid an unannounced visit to the Montgomery estate the next morning. The sight of me, a rare visitor, made Reese's parents beam. They warmly ushered me to the sitting room. I stared at the numbers above them, both close to 2,000, and grew more confused. I had over 2,000 chances to see his parents, but only 3 left with Reese himself. Just then, Reese sauntered down the main staircase, still tying his bespoke tie. Sure enough, the number above his head had dropped to 2. My heart skipped a beat. I held the teacup, momentarily speechless. "Savannah Finch, what brings you here?" He caught sight of me. A flicker of surprise in his eyes as he walked over with a smirk that never quite reached his eyes. I put down the cup, abruptly stood up, and completely out of character looped my arm through his. "Reese Montgomery, are you planning a long trip or say, emigrating soon?" He lowered his lashes, focusing on my hand on his arm, a puzzled look on his face. "Recently? No." I blinked, and amidst the knowing glances of the staff around us, I leaned in and whispered a suggestion. "Are you free today? Let me take you for a full medical checkup." Reese was my rival, my tormentor since childhood, but the genuine possibility of him having a sudden, terminal illness sent a wave of panic through me. His expression shifted slightly, then he laughed dismissively and lightly tapped my nose. "I just had a physical a few weeks ago. Perfectly healthy. Want me to forward you the results?" On the sofa, his parents exchanged a look, as if they wanted to say something but couldn't. I knew they were wondering why I was acting so intimate with Reese today, only 6 months after I flat out refused the proposed Montgomery-Finch murder marriage. I couldn't explain. I clung to him, my gaze darting up to the stark 2 above his head. If it wasn't an acute illness, could it be an accident? "Reese Montgomery, I'm sticking with you today. Where you go, I go." After making that bold declaration, I marched out, clutching his arm tightly under the amazed eyes of everyone present. I was inseparable from him all morning. When he led the morning board meeting, I stood outside the clear glass wall of the conference room, my eyes fixed like a laser beam on the number above his head. At one point, his secretary brought me a chair and a coffee, clearly worried I'd tire myself out. When Reese stepped out to use the restroom, I followed him down the hall, not letting him out of my sight. He finally looked at me, a helpless expression on his face. "We've reached the door, you can stop now." I shamelessly tightened my grip on his suit sleeve, justifying myself. "This is your private washroom. I've known you since we were in matching toddler overalls. Following you in is hardly out of line." He managed a strained smile. "You're taking a dare this seriously? Who did you lose to, Tatum Bell?" Only she could come up with something so vindictive. I instantly realized he thought I was just fulfilling a humiliating social debt, but this clinginess couldn't last forever. If he needed to do more than wash his hands, was I supposed to stare at him from inside the stall? That image was too much. I just let him go and see if the number changed when he came out. I still had one visit to spare anyway. In those few seconds, my mind raced, until I heard Reese's resigned voice. "You want to come in? Fine, come in. If you're not embarrassed, why should I be?" He started to pull me inside. I stopped abruptly, pulled my hand away, and looked away. On second thought, no. Reese let out a dry, short laugh, tapping out already. But the moment his back disappeared behind the door, a fresh wave of panic hit.